Welcome back to my channel, everyone. I wanted to sit here and talk to you guys about how I was feeling all of my first trimester. I am now stepping into my second trimester and feel so much better, thankfully. Hopefully I can do a video for you guys every semester and just tell you how I was feeling week by week or month by month, depending on how many symptoms I have. For my first trimester, I did track every week. I was writing down all the symptoms that I was having. If you guys have seen all the prior videos, I mentioned how very early in my pregnancy, I feel like as soon as I found out, I was already feeling nauseous. Actually, before I found out, which was another hint to me being pregnant. The first thing that I noticed also were my boobs were so sore. And normally, typically before I get my period, I tend to have sore boobs, but it only lasts for maybe just the day before I'm gonna get my period, or the day of, like half a day. My boobs were feeling very sensitive and sore all those days that I didn't know that I was pregnant. And I mentioned in my prior videos, we took the pregnancy test 4 days after being late, and all those days my boobs were hurting, which is why I was like, this is weird. I'm late. My boobs have been hurting every single day and it hasn't gone away. My poor boobs are still sore till this day. I don't know if the feeling's gonna go away, honestly. It's so annoying, but yeah, that's one of the symptoms that hasn't gone away. Let me pull up my phone so I can tell you guys week by week. So week 4, I have my sore boobs. I was hungry a lot. I was hungry all the time. It's that hunger that I've never felt before. At this moment, I didn't know anything about how to control being nauseous or not getting nauseous. And for me, I would normally wait till I was hungry to eat. And that was the issue that I was having. I would wait till I was hungry, but that hunger is so different. It's like my tripas want to eat each other because of how intense the starving feels. So I learned that if I eat before I get hungry, I won't get nauseous. I don't know if it works for everyone. I've been thankful that I haven't thrown up. I didn't throw up at all my first trimester. I have till this day to throw up. I was getting mild cramps like if I was getting my period, which was a little confusing because I was like, maybe I am gonna get my period. And I have mild nausea. So that was week 4. Week 5, sore boobs. I'm not even gonna say sore boobs anymore because, as I said, sore boobs was my whole, it's been till now. The sore boobs have not gone away. I did start getting emotional on week 5. And I am an emotional person, so I don't want to blame it on the pregnancy, but there is some things that I've cried for that I'm like, okay, maybe I am a little bit more emotional than the usual. On this week, we had just had my nieces from my husband's side, our niece, we had just had her baby shower and we had brought home leftovers and we had a birria for leftovers. I was so excited. It was like 2 days after, to make birria quesadillas. And as I was taking out the birria from the fridge, it was on top of other containers. So I pulled out all of the containers together and the birria happened to be the one on top. So it just slid off and it fell. And the containers I have are of glass, so it just shattered. It landed backwards, so it was on top of the lid. The lid is plastic, so that part was safe. And I was just looking at it like in disbelief. I could see that it was going to happen as I was pulling it out, but I was in shock that it happened and more sad because I was really looking forward to those quesadillas. And my husband had came and we were picking up, and then I just started crying because I was like, I really wanted those quesadillas. And I was still telling him maybe we could eat it because the meat landed on top of the lid. It didn't go on the floor. And he was like, no babe, there's glass, there's like little glasses on it, we can't eat this. And he even told me we have a birria spot near us, and he was like, we could just go get some. And I was like, no, it's not the same thing, this is your mom's birria, it's gonna taste different. So I cried a little bit. I was a little chillona. So that's when I was like, okay, maybe I am a little emotional. I started to have insomnia on week 5. I felt uneasy all day long, just nauseous, queasy. But again, I learned to control the nausea, and this was later on, by making sure that I ate before. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I make sure to eat right away. I just eat before I get hungry, pretty much, and it helps. It also depends. Like, there was one day where recently that I wasn't feeling hungry for dinner because we had had a big lunch. I think I had made like taquitos dorados, and I just felt really stuffed, so I wasn't hungry for dinner. So all I did was munch on some animal cookies, and I had like a chocolate, and I felt nauseous in the night. And I think it was because my body was like, you didn't give me the proper nutrients for dinner, what's going on? So now I know that I have to have like a proper meal also to not get nauseous. Week 6, I was tired a lot, peeing a lot. Jeez, the peeing, oh my god, nobody told me I would pee this much. I already pee a lot, okay? I drink a gallon a day. I have this every single day. I'm a little behind today, actually. Let me drink some. But I drink this gallon every day. So once I got pregnant, I just started peeing a lot. I have it as week 6, where it was so annoying because I would wake up, and I would wake up probably like 4 to 5 times a night. I would go to bed, and I normally like to go to bed early, and then I'll just be on my phone for like an hour, and then I'll call it a night. In that hour, I get up like 3 times. While I'm on my phone, I get up 3 times minimum to pee, and then throughout the night I would still get up another 4 or 5 times. The most annoying thing, it's like, and I feel like that's why I felt so tired and exhausted, because I would not get my full sleep. I would keep waking up throughout the night to have to go pee, so I wasn't getting that good sleep, and I was just tired all day. Constipation. Ooh, constipation is real. I am someone who suffered with constipation before already, and I have to eat good in order for me to have good bowel movements. So I started strictly having veggie oatmeal in the morning, which would help. I would add also chia seeds, and I make sure to have a lot of veggies with my food. I need to make sure that I don't have as much dairy, if none at all, because that is what the main thing that constipates me. I notice that whenever I eat dairy, that's when I struggle the most. So it's hard to stay away from dairy, but I have to choose. Either I want to feel like shit and be constipated, or I eat healthier. Like, I've been so much more aware of what I'm putting in my body now. I'll still eat my favorite foods. I'm just very more careful in not overeating, in making sure that I have veggies, just because I want to feel good, and I want to make sure that I'm giving the right nutrients to my baby as well. So constipation is no joke though. I was feeling super bloated at this time too, because I couldn't poop and I felt so gassy. There was one night that I went to sleep crying because of how uncomfortable I felt with my stomach, that it just felt like there was just so much trapped gas in there. And once I saw the doctor, finally, he told me that I could take Miralax. He mentioned other things I don't remember, but I haven't taken any. I really try to avoid taking those supplements. I just got back to taking my magnesium citrate, which he approved, and then I just make sure to eat right, and I'll be fine. As long as I have my oatmeal in the morning, which it has the good fiber, I have my veggies throughout the day, I will be fine. It's when I eat the damn dairy, like this week I had a lot more dairy and I was suffering, and thankfully not to where I feel as bloated as I did in the beginning, but it's all up to me to feel good. Pretty much I am learning what works for me and what doesn't. I noticed a strong sense of smell. Anywhere I go, I could just smell everything so much stronger. If I step outside and I walk by our trash can, the big one that the freaking trucks come and pick up and take. Oh my god, it is so horrible. I cannot, like, the smelling is just so intense. So that's what I have for week 6. Week 7, sensitive boobs. I felt less nauseous. I was still peeing a lot, constipated, hungrier than you've ever been. It's crazy because you're hungry, but nothing sounds good. Nothing. And I don't know if it was the cooking part where I would cook for me and just the smelling everything, and by the time I would eat it, it just didn't. I would still eat it, and thankfully I was able to because I wasn't throwing up. I knew I wasn't going to throw up, but I would eat it with that, like, that feeling of, this doesn't sound good right now, I don't want to eat this, but I would eat it because it was healthy food for my baby. And I feel like outside food, like fast food, it's not that I was craving it or that it sounded good, but I would rather have that than food at home. But I think it was because I was cooking it and smelling it, versus if someone had made it for me, I'd probably eat it with more ganas. I'm normally one to say, ooh, this sounds good, I want this. And throughout my whole pregnancy, I've just been like, pick whatever. Honestly, nothing sounds good to me. But once I eat it, I'm like, this is good. So that's what it's been like for me. It's to where you're hungry, you're starving, but nothing sounds good. It's so weird. It's so weird. That was week 7. Week 8, constipated still, less nausea again. Week 9, that's when I started feeling better, honestly. I feel like the first 8 weeks were the worst. That's when I felt all the symptoms, but not to where I'm gonna say it was hell. I honestly feel very blessed so far and grateful that I don't feel like I had anything severe where I felt severely ill or sick. It was thankfully just like nausea and just feeling really tired. Those were the main things, like feeling nauseated and just feeling tired all day. Like I had ran, it feels like you ran a marathon every single day, like, and not doing anything. It was just exhausting. But yeah, week 9 I started feeling so much better. Week 10, heartburn, little nausea. I had my first prenatal appointment and ultrasound, which was beautiful. Honestly, it's been such a surreal thing to where even now I'm like, I question it and I'm like, am I really pregnant? It's just, I don't feel it other than those symptoms of feeling sick, you know? Other than that, it's so early in the pregnancy that you don't have confirmation from the baby. You don't feel the baby moving, and it's just a weird feeling, especially because it's my first pregnancy. And I thought having the ultrasound, it was going to hit me more. I thought hearing the heartbeat for the first time was going to just hit me, and it honestly didn't. I walked out of there just feeling the same still. Like, if anything, I was just thinking, that's in me? How? How is there a baby in me? That's so weird. So yeah, I had my first ultrasound.
First baby? Yes. Oh, how exciting. And apply a little bit of pressure. If it's too much pressure at any moment, just let me know. Here, you can see this moving, that's the baby's heart. Apply too much pressure, just let me know, okay? Strong heartbeat, let me get that heart rate for you. 159 is the baby's heartbeat. So, oh, baby's not hurry.
Oh.
Little tiny little wiggles. So head, you can see like little arm movement, baby's body, little legs. Sounds like baby has hiccups or something. Little jumps. How long ago did you guys find out?
We found out at 4 weeks.
Oh, wow. Tiny at 4 weeks.
Yeah. I'm regular with my period, so as soon as I missed it. Yeah.
Any morning sickness or anything like that?
Yes, all day kind of. It's gotten better though. It was worse at the beginning. But thankfully just nausea. I haven't thrown up.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Say for me, like right after like 17 weeks, it went away completely.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
17?
Yeah.
Still a long time.
9 weeks. Let me check my chart and see how big baby is right now. So about the size of a grape, and then 0.9 inches. So super tiny.
Week 10, it's so crazy. You would think when you get pregnant that you're gonna start seeing the doctor and you're gonna have all these visits, and the first trimester they don't really see you. And it's weird to me because that's when you're, as a mom, as the pregnant one, you're so worried. You want to know if your baby is okay, but there's not much that they can do. That, from what I've seen in other women's cases as well, they're not seen till more towards the end of the first trimester. They have their first ultrasound, unless you are high risk where you could miscarry or lose the baby. They won't do an ultrasound till more towards the end of the trimester, which was mind-blowing to me. It's like, this is my first time being pregnant. I want to see my baby. I want to make sure everything's okay from the beginning. But yeah, you don't really see the doctor, and it's the most scary time of your pregnancy because you don't know if everything's okay and you're not really seeing the doctor. At least that's what it was for me, and that's what I've heard as well. So if this is your first pregnancy, it's normal, I guess, for you to not see the doctor as much. I know at the beginning of the pregnancy, you see the doctor once a month, and then I think once you get closer to your third trimester, you see them every other month. Every other week. And then once you're on your last month, I think, that's when they see you weekly, and they'll increase it if needed depending on how your pregnancy is going. Week 11, no symptoms really other than the sore boobs. Week 13, emotional. I was feeling a little emotional, congested. I would wake up with a stuffy nose every single morning. Even now, I feel like I normally tend to get allergies, but this time during pregnancy, it's just been worse. I even woke up with a huge headache one day because of how congested I felt, but apparently that's normal. And then this one's tricky because I know some doctors count the end of week 12. That's technically the 3 months, so that's your first trimester. And then there's doctors that still count week 13 as part of the first trimester, so I'm just gonna include week 13 in here as well. Oh, which it was the one I just said. And then for the second semester, I'll talk about week 14 and going forward. Week 13, oh, I have more notes actually. Week 13, a lot of y'all might say that this is crazy. I don't know if you've experienced this, but I looked it up and it's a thing. I felt my baby move at week 13. It only happened once. I honestly got a little scared because it only happened that one day, and after that I wasn't feeling the baby anymore, so I was freaking out. And a whole week later is when I had an appointment, and thankfully they checked the heartbeat. I heard the heartbeat, everything was okay, thank God. But it's such a beautiful feeling. This week I was feeling a little bit emotional too, and I just started crying because at first, let me explain this feeling. I went on TikTok and I think I put what was the word, baby flutters or something like that, and people were explaining what it felt like, and that's what made me realize, okay, yes, that is exactly what I'm feeling. So I'm feeling my baby, and I started crying. Once I figured out what it was, I started crying, and I was just probably for like an hour just emotional because I had never had this feeling. I didn't know what it would feel like, especially so early in the pregnancy. And then once my husband woke up, I wake up before him because he works late. So he came to me, and immediately I just look at him and I just say, I felt the baby move, and I just start crying. I was crying a lot. And he was just a little confused, and he says, it's a good thing, right? And of course I was like, yes, it's a good thing. It's just a crazy feeling. So it feels, obviously it was in my stomach and it's kind of like you're passing gas, like little bubbles. But a more accurate description would be when you get that eye twitch where your eye is just twitching and you feel it, or you feel your muscle, what's the word, a muscle spasm. Is that what it is? When you feel random parts of your skin like just jumping, that's what it feels like whenever you, I don't know if you felt that, where you randomly feel a part of your skin that's just twitching, it's just tapping. Or like if you have, what's another one would be like, if like literally like if you have a little goldfish in a little bag and it's just swimming back and forth, like if it's trying to get out, that's what it feels like. It is the craziest feeling, but it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. But again, that's the only time I felt it. I don't know why. I thought that because I had felt it already, I would continue feeling it every single day. It started like at 12 noon, and I probably felt it all the way till, I think it was like around 6, 7 in the evening or nighttime, or whatever that's considered. And the next morning, I didn't feel it anymore, unfortunately. But I'm hoping it comes back. I'm hoping I feel it again. I was scared for a whole week until I had my doctor's appointment, and I told my husband, I was like, on the way there, I was terrified. I was just thinking that I was gonna be told like there's no heartbeat, or we can't find the heartbeat, and it was gonna be scary. And he told me like, you shouldn't think that way, you should think positive. And I was like, I know I want to think that way, but it's hard. I feel like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I feel like the first trimester is just, it's hard because you don't know if your baby's okay. Like, you're not feeling your baby, you're not seeing the doctors as often, and it's just scary. Like, I get anxious because I don't know every minute of the day if my baby's okay. So it's scary. It is scary. I told him, I was like, I was always scared that I was gonna be that mom that worried a lot. I just didn't know it would happen as soon as I became pregnant. I didn't think about how it would start so soon. I think before I would just think like, oh, once the baby's here, I'm gonna like freak out. But now being pregnant, I'm like, damn, this starts as soon as you find out that you're pregnant. Like, for me, as soon as I found out, I wanted to make sure that my baby was okay. I was in disbelief. I didn't think it was true. Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of what I've been feeling like. I wanted to kind of just really just explain how I'm feeling. Obviously, it's going to be different for everyone. Every pregnancy is different. I did enjoy seeing a lot of pregnancy videos of the first trimesters, so I could kind of get an idea of what it was like, what was normal, what wasn't normal. I've had very vivid dreams, but I feel like I've always had vivid dreams. I did have 2 dreams where I saw my baby, or babies I should say. There was one dream where I was laying down with my husband and I could see a little girl reaching over at the closet, but I also had a teenage boy standing kind of over us, like behind us. So I don't know what that dream meant. And then I had another dream where I gave birth. I could see myself giving birth. I was at the hospital and I was holding a little baby girl. So I don't know, sometimes dreams mean the opposite of, you know, what the dream is. I don't know what my dreams have been trying to tell me, but I have very vivid dreams all the time, so nothing new for me. I know they say when you're pregnant it happens more, but again, for me I've always had crazy dreams, so it's nothing new. But that's gonna be it for my first trimester symptoms. I don't know what else I could say. I've had like 3 ultrasounds. I only had my first one because I thought that in the doctors they were gonna take forever to send me, so I actually paid and I went to those places where they do the 2D or 3D ultrasound and you get a package. I think we paid like $50, and sadly they had just scheduled us. I had my doctor's appointment I think the following week, and then they scheduled me for the ultrasound the day after. So if I would have known that, I probably would have not done the paid for the ultrasound. But I also am glad that I did it because I feel like theirs was more clear and we were able to see it on the big screen, and we were able to record. At the doctors, for some reason they don't let you record. I guess if it's because if something happens or they can't tell you and the doctor has to tell you, I don't know. But it was on a smaller screen. The girl just flipped over her screen and showed us the baby, and it wasn't as clear either. And then after that I had another appointment because I was trying to consult with another doctor to see where I liked it better, and they did an ultrasound there as well. That's gonna be it for today's video. Let me know if you guys have any further questions. Again, I'm gonna try to film how I felt for the second trimester and the third trimester. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Love y'all. Besos.